Hi everyone, welcome back to another gardening video. In this video we will be planting potatoes and then we will be replanting garlic and planting a lot more vegetables in the garden across the creek. First we will be planting the potatoes. I filmed the potato planting with just my phone, so the footage is not that great. It was also very early in the morning. These clips were filmed sometime mid of May, and I've been trying to edit this because there were a lot of clips to go through. We planted the sturdy variety called Charlotte because they keep a little bit longer, and since we cannot plant potatoes in the same area every year, so we created this patch and we will be planting it here this time. Let's see how they do. I have shared a video on how to plant potatoes, how to harvest them and how to store them. I will link it below in the description box. This spring has been extremely windy and also cold wind. To retain the heat during the night, we covered the maize with the snail cap. And right now, as I'm recording this voiceover, I see that they have grown much better because last week we had a little bit warmer, sunny days. This in between are the peas, and then you have the Brussels sprouts. After mulching a little bit, we will be planting some broccoli in this patch. The maize is a little bit slow in growing because of the weather, and we had some extreme cold days and nights.
I took away the stuff which was lying around, and then this came out. So now we leave it, and then it will come nice big. Okay. And now what happened is some of them like this are very close together. Can you see?
Yeah.
So they will not get big. What I do is I take this out and I put them individually. Okay.
Moving on to the garden across the creek, we have a few garlic which has popped up. This was planted a couple of years back and they have now grown into clusters. Probably there were some seeds which fell into it and they have started to grow again. So what we will be doing is removing the clusters and then planting them individually in the same patch.
Okay, now we have single pieces, and now I can put them in. Okay.
Yeah.
So each one we can plant one.
In the meanwhile, I wanted to take you in the greenhouse. Our tomatoes are doing quite well and we could save them despite the cold nights. We lit a couple of candles in there and they are really starting to flower as of now. We had prepared this big patch in the last video, and now we will be planting some leek, celery, and then a few lettuces. We are going to be very mindful in planting the lettuce because last year we let them grow wild and we didn't have enough space for planting vegetables. We didn't start the seeds of these, we got them from our garden center because there was not enough time to start them from scratch. So it was easier to buy these. We have a lot of mint close to the creek and they are very invasive. I would never plant them on the ground. It's very difficult to get rid of them. We also started to plant in the pot, but they're not doing that great in the pot. Leeks make for a great addition to your vegetable soups, especially during the winter months. I use them in oven fried potatoes and they really add extra flavor. It is something similar like an onion flavor. They also store very long in the refrigerator. If you leave them long in the garden, you can harvest them well into late autumn. While planting the leeks, we are leaving a gap of about 10 to 15 centimeters between each of these saplings. Next we will be planting celery. I like to make a celery juice together with apple, and this used to be my favorite drink in the morning or in the afternoon. I even add some celery sticks to my smoothies, but of late I don't make so much of smoothies. This also is a great addition to your vegetable soup and it has a really nice flavor. The bulb of the celery, but we are not planting the bulb, is also great for salads. This is the only patch where we are going to be planting a few lettuce. I had some seeds previously, but I don't think they come out so well. Sometimes they don't germinate and they're probably old, so we decided to get these ready saplings to plant, and that way we can get on with the garden. We already lost a few weeks because of the bad weather.
Green carrots.
Here we are going to plant some carrots.
This is supposed to be for 10 square meters. That means much more than
Past couple of years we had our own carrots got from our previous year's planting. Last year we didn't collect any of the seeds, but some of the stray carrots are appearing from a previous year's planting. In a few weeks, when they're getting too close to each other, we'll have to replant them. This is very close to the creek.
You have your new replanted.
These are some fenugreek seeds. This here is our blueberry bush. We replanted them from the other side of the garden to this place because they need a lot of water. And during the winter months, or I think late autumn, we already prepared the mulching for them. They need a very acidic soil. To avoid the birds picking on these seeds, we are going to cover them with these old cartons. We usually collect the bigger cartons from the packages and use them in our garden. This was the last planting we did for that day, and here we are planting a herb garden. This is on a raised bed. We used to have a lot of sage, but sage is invasive. And then we had rosemary, rucola, then thyme and a few other herbs in here, but they didn't survive the winter. Rosemary has survived, and that you see as a big bush at the back. We are going to prepare this bed by adding 2 different kinds of soil and then plant basil. Then we will plant some other herbs like thyme, and then we will plant some chives. I guess the chives will plant in a different place. This one is lilac from our neighbor's garden, and it really has a very nice smell. This basil is very flavorful and has a lot of aroma. We used to buy a lot of this many years back in a farmer's market, and since then I got really into it. This one is our strawberry bed. We moved the strawberries to this raised bed next to the herb garden, and they are starting to flower, and right now we are also getting a few berries. But we also have a slug problem, so we have to race to the fruits before the slugs. With this, I end my video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you could get a glimpse of our garden as we are planting. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye bye.